Sa umaga na ito, ang ating scripture reading ay sa Exodus chapter 27 to 7. Exodus chapter 27. Hindi po natin babasahin ng buong chapter, kundi from verse 1 hanggang verse 19 lang, kung saan dinidescribe yung altar at yung tabernacle in detail. Kaya kung naduduno po kayo, simulan ko na po ang basa, Exodus chapter 27 verse 1. You shall make an altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. You shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. Also, you shall make its pans to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its forks, and its fire pans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall make a grate for it, a network of bronze, and on the network you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. You shall put it under the rim of the altar beneath, that the network may be midway up the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. The poles shall be put in the rings, and the poles shall be on the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. You shall make it hollow with boards, as it was shown you on the mountain, so shall they make it. Verse 9. You shall also make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side there shall be hangings for the court made of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long for one side, and its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets shall be bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be silver. Likewise, along the length of the north side there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, with its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of bronze, and the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. And along the width of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 sockets. The width of the court on the east side shall be 50 cubits. The hangings on one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And on the other side shall be hangings of 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. For the gate of the court there shall be a screen 20 cubits long, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen made by a weaver. It shall have 4 pillars and 4 sockets. All the pillars around the court shall have bands of silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of bronze. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, the width 50 throughout, and the height 5 cubits, made of fine woven linen, and its sockets of bronze. And lastly, all the utensils of the tabernacle for all its service, all its pegs, and all the pegs of the court shall be of bronze. The tabernacle was a visible sermon declaring truths about God and how to worship Him, and the items of furniture na nasa loob in the tabernacle were key points in that visible sermon. Gumagamit ang Diyos ng visual aid para matulungan ang mga Israelites kung paano nila i-worship ang Diyos at ang mga katotohanan din patungkol sa Diyos. Yung bawat furniture sa loob ng tabernacle ay mayaman sa spiritual symbolism at mahalaga na pagtuunan natin ng pansin. So, sa mga susunod na scripture reading natin ay titingnan natin yung iba't ibang furniture items na nasa loob ng tabernacle, gaya ng the altar of the burnt offering, the bronze laver, the table for the showbread, the golden lampstand, the altar of incense, at lastly, the Ark of the Covenant, or minsan tinatawag the Ark of Testimony. Ang bawat furniture na ito ay may tinuturo na mahahalagang bagay patungkol sa plano ng Diyos at lahat ito ay tumuturo sa atin sa ating Panginoong Hesus. Gaya ng sinasabi sa Hebrews chapter 9 verse 11 to 15 na nagbigay linaw, but Christ came as a high priest of good things to come, with a greater and more perfect tabernacle not made with hands, that is, not of this creation, not with the blood of goats and calves, but with his own blood. He entered the most holy place once for all, having obtained eternal redemption. For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifies for the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to our God, cleanse your conscience from dead works to serve the living God. And for this reason, he is the mediator of the new covenant by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions under the first covenant, that those who are called may receive the promise of the eternal inheritance. Now, this Sunday, yung unang furniture lang, which is the altar, ang ating tatalakayin. So, pagpasok mo sa loob ng outer court ng tabernacle, makikita natin yung altar. The first point of the sermon was that the only way to get to the Lord is through the blood of the sacrifice. Makakalapit lang tayo sa presensya ng Diyos ay sa pamamagitan lang ng alay na dugo. Yung altar kung saan yung foundation nito ay gawa sa lupa at bato ay hindi inukit o tinabas man lang ng tao para maging lapat yung altar, ay siyang nagtetestify of the inability of man to contribute any part or effort towards the work of salvation. Walang kahit na anumang contribution ang mabibigay o magagawa ng tao patungkol sa kanyang kaligtasan. Yung altar ay gawa sa matigas na acacia wood na binalutan ng bronze or tanso na nagsasuggest that it is the place of righteous judgment. It points to the sacrifice and the shedding of blood, without which there can be no forgiveness of sin. At the place of the sacrifice, yung altar, justice was served, pardon or forgiveness was won. There can be no genuine worship without the knowledge or consciousness that Christ's sacrifice on the cross of Calvary has opened the way for believers to come into God's holy presence, kagaya ng ginagawa natin ngayong umaga. So may the Lord bless the reading of His Word this morning.